What's up guys, welcome to BMX. In this video I'll be showing you guys how to install an integrated BMX headset. Basic tools you guys are going to be needing is a 6mm Allen, a wrench. Right here I have a 17 off this crossbar, whatever they call it, crowbar. It's got a 17mm on there, and this is basically what I use. You guys can either use this or any type of adjustable wrench, whatever you guys have available to you. Some grease. Since you guys are putting on something new, you always want some grease. Of course, your new headset, along with a pair of gloves, like I already mentioned, and some extra paper towels in case you get grease all over the place. And of course, you're going to be needing your bike. Here's what an integrated BMX headset looks like. Mine's is literally just crap. It creaks and does all this funny shit. But that's basically it. So right now I'm just going to be opening this up and showing you guys what comes with an integrated BMX headset, and then we'll be taking off my front wheel and taking off the old headset and then installing the new one. You guys now have the box opened up. I'm basically going to take everything out and show you guys what every single thing is. So I'm just going to dump this out and basically going to put everything out and show you guys what everything is. Okay guys, so here we are. Here are all the things that come with a brand new headset. This right here, it's called a bottom race. Most forks, if you already have an integrated headset, you guys should already have this on your forks. But in case you're going from a standard headset to an integrated, you probably have standard forks as well. So you have to take off the bottom race that's already on there and put this one on. Here's the lower bearing and here's the top bearing. They're actually identical, so it doesn't matter which one you put on top or which one you put on the bottom. Here's a top race. It basically goes inside of this bearing and it causes the movement and stuff to go on. So it basically goes in there firm, and that's what causes the movement. Here are your two dust caps. In this particular headset, it comes with two different dust caps, so I can basically use whichever one I want. I'm probably going to go off with using probably this one right here, just because, I don't know, it's higher. I have to use less spacers with it. So this one right here, I'll just put off to the side. So here are all the things we're working with in this video. Two identical integrated BMX headset bearings, top race and bottom race. I don't need this bottom race since my forks already have an integrated race, so I don't have to use this. So basically you're left with the top race, two bearings, and a dust cap. So yeah. Alright guys, the first step is basically taking off your wheel, so you can take off your forkies, stem and your bars easily, and your forks can come off. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is take off my wheel. Okay, so now that you have your wheel off, you guys can basically flip your bike back over. The bike's back with the wheel off. You can go ahead and take your 6mm Allen. You're going to go out your pinch bolts, and you guys are going to loosen these up. So basically you have to loosen these bolts to get this off, which is called the compression cap or the compression bolt. These are an aftermarket set of forks, so they have a little special type of thing on there. But usually if you're working on a stock bike, it's going to have this rounded out, basically a cap type of piece, and there's going to be a bolt running straight through the middle. So for this, we're going to go ahead and take off the compression bolts. So that's the first thing you want to go ahead and do. Basically the right side goes down and the left side goes up. You just want to make sure that you get it nice and loose. Don't take them off completely because there's no point of that. So you're going to go ahead and go down, get that loose, and the left side it's going to go up. They're the complete opposites of one another. So there. Now with the bolts loose, when you think they're loose enough, you're ready to go at your compression cap, and you want to go ahead and take that off. Right here, I'm just going to be putting in my Allen, and we're going to go ahead and take this thing off completely. And now with the compression cap off completely, you guys can see, that one's stuck in there, but here it is. I mean, it depends on what type of forks you have. Different forks have different type of compression caps. So that's that. We're just going to go ahead and put this on the side. Right now, with this over here, now with this off, that compression cap, basically what it does is it holds your stem and your forks together, so it's but you call it a compression cap, so it basically compresses both of those together so you don't have a loose and rattly headset. Right now, as you guys can see, the headset's loose just because that thing came off. Now you guys are going to take both of your feet and lock them onto your forks, and with this up here, you guys are going to move it left and right and try your best to basically get it to come off. Now that it's off, we're going to be setting my bars and stem off to the side. Now, here's basically everything you're going to be seeing. Here I have a set of spacers. This is just so you're supposed to have a certain amount of gap. Your stem's supposed to be like slightly, like almost like a millimeter higher than your steer tube. So here are some spacers. I'm going to be setting those off there as well. Right now, at the start, I explained how everything works out and stuff. So right here, if you recall, this is the dust cap, and it should come off just like that. So here's the dust cap, and put it there. Right here, you guys can see. You can put it a little lower. Right there, that thing right there, that is the top race. Now, I can't express how important it is to have this. Make sure you don't skip the step. When I got my first frame that was actually integrated and had a sealed bottom bracket, I went out and bought an integrated headset, and basically I put it on. I didn't know how, so I just basically went at it myself. I didn't look it up how to or anything like that. So I was basically on my own, and I forgot to put this in. And basically what had happened was my sealed bearings had ended up breaking up, because you guys can see how loose this is right now without this thing in there, because you guys can see all that gap that's there without a top race. So we're going to be setting this off as well, since we already have a new one. And basically you can remove your forks from your frame just simply by lifting them up. Now that you guys, here's a bottom race, by the way. Since this one's integrated, I don't need the other one we already took out. So for taking off your bearings, it's best to bring it up top of that. So what I like doing is I just take up my steer tube and I kind of slightly bend it slightly and just smack out your bearings. There you go. That's the bottom bearing right there. Same thing for the top. Put it in there and just, it's gonna come out. This one actually came out pretty easily. Usually the bottom one's the harder one to take out, but that's that. Here are the two older bearings. They're really just crapped up. Like I can't even use these anymore. But I'm gonna put those off to the side. Now with the tissues, like I said in the start, what you want to go ahead and do is remove all the old grease. I don't even have any grease in there, barely have any grease. But all the dirty old grease, you guys want to go ahead and take that out. Usually there's like dust and all sorts of little things that get up in there that can just make you feel super unsmooth. You always want your headset to be feeling nice and smooth. So the bottoms, you guys can see there, we're just going to go ahead and clean the inside out as well. So that's nice and clean as well. So the steer tube and stuff, the head tube is nice and clean. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is the bottom race that's already integrated. We're going to go ahead and clean this up as well. Take off all the old grease. Old grease is off, and now we're almost ready to install the new headset. So that'd be it for removing it. Next part is going to be how to install the headset. Alright guys, now here's the part on installing the actual headset. So that's all the things we're going to be using right there. Like I said in the start, top and bottom bearings. These are new ones, by the way. Top race, the dust cap. You guys want to make sure you guys want to keep these, because the headsets, they don't include this, so you guys can be using your old one. And your spacers, of course. Those are all it. So the first thing you guys want to go ahead and do is use your grease to grease up the insides of the headset. If you guys do know me, I do like using a lot of grease just because I don't like friction at all. So we're going to go ahead and put a good amount of grease there. I'm using this little spoon, by the way. I picked up this idea from another YouTuber, and it was like pretty good. So we're going to put in a good amount there. Put in some more over here. You guys want to get it greased up as much as possible. There. Now using your finger, you guys want to go around with it and just make sure you guys get it like distributed equally, like that. Bottom as well. You just flip this over like that. So right here. Yeah, bottom's got a lot of grease in there. I think I gotta get more on top. That should be enough. Alright, there you guys have it. So here's the grease. Now what you guys want to go ahead and do is take your fork, and you always want to grease this up as well. Usually the steer tube, since if there's really no grease on there, it's hard to put on your stem. I'm going to take some grease, and we're going to grease up the steer tube first and then the bottom race. You guys do not need this much grease. Like usually you just need a little bit of grease so it slides on well, but I just use a lot of grease, and that's just me. Period. You guys have it. We're going to be greasing this guy up. It's a little too much grease though. Alright, now I was going to go ahead and take up your bearing, and you want to slide this on nicely, and there, it went on. Here's the new bearing. Feels amazing. I'm going to go ahead and grease up the steer tube. So what I'm going to do is, here you guys have it. Basically, make sure the bearing's on the right way. Here's the right way of putting it on. Make sure you don't have it on upside down because it's not going to go in. And basically, slide this, lift it up a little, like upwards. Yeah, that's perfect right there. So you guys want to go ahead and take this and put it straight in there. And now you guys can set your fork onto it, your frame onto your fork. So there you guys have that. Now putting on the top bearing is what's next. You want to come right here, and right here you want to move your fork, like you almost want to center your fork and put this thing on, and there you guys have it right there. Next you want to go ahead and take up your top brace and just basically slide it on top and basically almost install it inside of your bearing. Now that that's in there, it's going to lock your fork and your frame in place. Go ahead and put some extra grease on there. Here you guys have it. And now what's next is your top race. I mean the dust cap, my bad. Top race is right there. Here's the dust cap, and just slide it on top, right there. All that, I'm just gonna keep it centered since demolition logo on this side and demo logo on that side. So you can do whatever, whichever way you want. Now for your spacers, you guys just want to go ahead and just slide your spacers on top. Got my 3 spacers. Now I'm just gonna grease this up just a tiny bit, just so the stem slides on fine without. I don't want to touch up my grips with these greasy hands because it's not going to want to come off later on. But straight up my hands. Alright, here we have it. And simply just sliding on your thing there. Now here's the main thing right here. You guys want to make sure there's not too much of a gap in between the edge of your stem and your steer tube right there. This is pretty fat of a gap, but if I do remove, I can probably go ahead and remove that smallest bearing right there. You almost want like basically like a millimeter with the gap. Make sure there's no make sure that the steer tube isn't higher than your stem. You always want your stem to be higher. So I'm just gonna go ahead and adjust this up, and I'll show you guys how it looks. You guys, here as you guys can see, I basically took out an extra bearing, and this is the appropriate amount of space you guys should have between your stem and your steer tube. 2 things right there. So I took off the smallest bearing I had, and this is what it came down to, and it's actually a lot better. So what you guys want to go ahead and do now is take your top cap, and you guys can basically screw this in. And so you can go ahead and screw this on, and go ahead and use my Allen key now. So you guys want to make sure that it's nicely adjusted. You might want to have to like hold your forks again and like tighten this thing on, like last time where we had to actually hold our forks down and then pull this thing off. You almost want to hold your forks, push your bars forward and move it left, right to actually have it sit in, and make sure there's no gap in between the dust cap and the frame itself. So here you are. Just tighten up the steer compression cap as much as possible. Make sure it's not loose. If it's way too tight, if it doesn't move at all, that's probably just because you haven't. This is too tight. If it's too loose or it's rattling, that's probably because this isn't too tight. So I'm gonna just get it a little tight. Make sure it's not loose to where it's gonna come out by itself. But right now, here's a good amount. Right here. Be able to do like a good 3 bar spins with it. So that's basically it. You also want to make sure, well, another thing, by you're gonna go ahead and make sure that your stem is almost like aligned with your front wheel if you had it on. You guys can check this by, I guess mine's a little slanted right now, so I'm just gonna slant it to the right a little bit, right there. So that's good right there. And basically, what the pinch bolts do is they tighten up your stem to the steer tube. It tightens it, basically compresses it together. The compression cap basically pulls them together, and the pinch bolts like clamp it. So that's really it. I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten up the compression bolts. Actually, not now. I'm put on my front wheel first. I'm gonna check if I have to make any adjustments. If this is crooked or anything like that, then I'll probably have to fix it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put on my front wheel. Just a quick tip when you're putting it on. The tread, make sure it's facing that way when your bike's flipped over, in case you guys get it on wrong or backwards. So that's it. I'm just going to tighten my front wheel up, and yeah. Go. Right now, you guys, just want to make sure that now that the wheel's on, you want to make sure that the stem itself is aligned with your wheel. As you guys can see right now, it's crooked. Pinch bolts are loose, so I can still make the last minute adjustments. So I'm just gonna probably move this thing over to the left just a tiny bit. Best thing to do is just come up onto the front of your bike and make the adjustment. So right there, I think this should be a lot better. There, looks pretty straight. I just move a little bit, but I think that should do right there. It's pretty straight. So you guys can go ahead and now just tighten up your compression bolts. And after that, you're ready to ride. In case your headset is a little bit rattly, you guys want to make sure these are loose and tighten up your compression cap. Once it's in place, you guys can go ahead and tighten these up. You guys, now here we have it. The wheel's pretty much straight. You guys want to go ahead and take your paper towel, your napkin, whatever you might be using. Just get off all the excess grease. You don't want it to be getting all your pants or whatever. That's basically it. Clean the bottom as well, because with the grease, if you're actually riding, leaves and all sorts of things can be getting over it since it's like sticky, or like dust. It can attract a lot of dust. But that should be basically it. I'm gonna clean off the top as well. But that's it. That's how to install an integrated BMX headset. If you guys have any questions with it whatsoever, just let me know. This should be it. I can finally go out and ride again. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and peace.